What's the strangest power trip you've seen someone go on? My neighbor Nico decided she owned the entire sidewalk in front of her house, and what followed was the most ridiculous 3 weeks of my life. It started when I was walking my dog Rex past her place like I had every morning for 2 years. She came storming out in her pink bathrobe and fuzzy slippers, waving her arms like she was directing traffic at rush hour. Stop right there. Your dog cannot walk on my sidewalk anymore. This is private property. I was genuinely confused. It's a public sidewalk that the city maintains, plows in winter, and repairs when needed. This is city property, Nico. Everyone can use it. That's literally what sidewalks are for. She pulled out her phone with this incredibly smug expression and showed me a screenshot of some random Facebook post from a group called Know Your Property Rights. Take back what's yours. Actually, homeowners own 3 feet from their property line according to municipal code. I looked it up on the internet and did my research. That was completely wrong. But she'd already put up bright orange construction cones blocking half the sidewalk while we were talking like she'd been planning this ambush. Nico, you can't just block public walkways with traffic cones. People need to get through here. Watch me, she said confidently, then marched inside and came back with more cones, yellow caution tape, and a handwritten sign that read, "Private property. No trespassing. This means you violators will be prosecuted." By the next morning, she'd created this elaborate obstacle course that forced everyone to walk in the street. The mailman, Andre, had to climb over her barriers while carrying packages. The garbage truck couldn't get close enough to her curb, so her trash just sat there rotting in the heat. But the absolute best part? She set up a lawn chair with a cup holder, sun umbrella, and side table to monitor her sidewalk kingdom from 6 a.m. to 8 p.m. every single day like she was running border security. She'd literally sit there for hours with a spiral notebook, writing down anyone who dared step on her concrete. I watched her through my window, taking detailed notes like she was conducting important scientific research. "Excuse me," she yelled at a jogger who tried to squeeze past her cone fortress. "That'll be $5 for unauthorized sidewalk usage. I accept cash, Venmo, or PayPal." The jogger just stared at her like she'd escaped from somewhere and kept running, which made Nico scribble furiously in her notebook and mutter about non-compliant trespassers. She started leaving actual invoices in people's mailboxes, printed invoices with line items like sidewalk rental, €5, concrete wear and tear fee, $2.50, and unauthorized foot traffic surcharge, €3.00. Mrs. Watson from 2 houses down brought me one, laughing so hard she could barely speak. "Look what your crazy neighbor charged me for walking to my own mailbox." She's completely lost her mind. That's when Nico made her biggest mistake and called the police on herself by complete accident. She dialed 911 screaming about multiple trespassers vandalizing her private property, but completely forgot to mention it was a public sidewalk. She was so worked up she couldn't form complete sentences. "They're walking on it without permission, with their feet. It's trespassing and property damage." 20 minutes later, 2 very patient police officers showed up, took one look at her elaborate cone fortress and makeshift toll booth operation, and made her remove everything immediately. "Ma'am, you're actually the one breaking city ordinances here. Public sidewalks must remain accessible to pedestrians at all times." Nico's face went through about 6 different shades of red as she had to personally remove every single cone while neighbors gathered on their porches to watch the show. The next morning, she was back outside at sunrise with a measuring tape, level, and clipboard, trying to prove the sidewalk was technically on her property by measuring random distances and taking photos of every crack in the concrete. She even printed out what looked like official surveyor documents on her home computer, except they were clearly fake and written in Comic Sans font with spelling errors. Rex peed on one of her leftover cones that she'd forgotten to pick up, and I swear he knew exactly what he was doing.